Hey, folks, that's right. Yeah, man, it's either early or late, depending on how you look at it. Probably late, but then I'm early. Okay, whatever. I'm not going to. Anyway, hey, it's your man, the Dolphins AD Moore from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's right. Early in the morning, day after the last of the NFL wildcard games that involved the Houston Texans, who were the guest of the Pittsburgh Steelers at Acirsure Stadium. I'm gonna get that right one day, but I want to call it Three Rivers, and I probably will. Three Rivers, Heinz Field, whatever the case might be. Anyway, the Texans came away probably with the most resounding victory of all the wild card team the games played. I mean, just a flat out butt kicking over the Pittsburgh Steelers, and about scored 30-6. There were some notable things in there, and I've got a couple. In fact, I got most stuff that's out on my social media platforms. That being the just it's just at the AdMax corner on the IG, which goes into my Facebook and Threads. Also, I will be putting stuff out on the YouTube channel, but for right now, that'll be probably you'll be seeing a few more things popping up on the YouTube channel. But anyway, let's get to the reason why I'm up here, and I'll give you a little backstory behind my presence here because it goes back several years. In fact, it goes, y'all probably, those in the Houston area was probably going back and seeing the rekindling of the Renfro catch that wasn't, it was a catch, but wasn't ruled a catch. And it was clear by no ifs, ands, or buts that Renfro got both feet down in the end zone. Now, some folks said that, well, that doesn't mean that the Houston Oilers would have won. Yeah, who knows? But anyway, they didn't get credit for the touchdown. So, but let's talk about back to the game at hand that happened on Monday Night Football. The Houston Texans, after a rocky start, and I'd say, and for the longest we were sitting here thinking this game was probably going to be with the final score of this game be 7-6. And you sort of have to sit there and think, from a defensive philosophy standpoint, from a person that loves to watch good sound defense, and some folks say is either good sound defense or bad offense. That I'll give you that. But in this case, it was looking at because the the Texans were struggling on offense, even though we had a lead by 7-6. But but after the second series, the Texans defense finally came back to the field and said, okay, enough of this. And that was pretty much it. Whatever the Pittsburgh Steelers tried to do with Aaron Rodgers and you name it, all shapes, form, or fashion, the Texans were getting off the field and they were being very resilient, dominating, and just a resounding saying, no, you're not happening. It's not happening. The Texans, there are a couple of and I'm going to the couple of firsts. The Texans scored two defensive touchdowns in the fourth quarter. One, a fumble return. The second one, but the first one was Sheldon Rankin. That's his third. That's his third in his career. The second one for this season. One in the regular season. This is in the postseason. He got a 33-yard fumble recovery, carried it to the house after a Will Anderson's sack fumble. Then Kalen Bullock carried probably might be Aaron Rodgers' last play of his career. He threw an interception thrown that went to the cat, got carried back to the house. Kalen Bullock carried it back 50 yards, which was the final score. Final score that brought it to a score of 30-6. The Texans had a running back, Woody Marks, who 19 carries, he had 112 yards. He averaged almost 6 yards a pop. The Texans offensive line, they were Are they where they should be or where they could be? Well, let's put it like this. The Pittsburgh Steelers are no slouch when it comes down to playing defense. And the Texans offensive line kept them at bay. They were, in fact, one drive there, they were averaging almost on per play. They were almost averaging a little better than 6 yards a carry. I mean, and I remember the series. I think Woody Marks went and ripped off 2 6 yards. Then Nick Chubb came in, and ripped off 6, 7, 8, 9 yards a pop, and that was on a drive that they eventually scored on. So, folks, this was just a game that you sit there, you scratch your head in the first quarter, going into the second quarter, because the Texans were struggling offensively, and all of a sudden, the paradigm, the shift came in this game, and they carried it to the house. They carried the Pittsburgh Steelers to the woodshed, and I'm being nice. And early in the morning, I doubt if there's too many of y'all out there that are up. Y'all probably get the chance to go back and have a replay. But anyway, I want to go ahead and get Coach D'Amico Ryans on. I'm gonna go and get these played, and then I'm gonna try to go get a little sleep, because several of my colleagues are catching the 6 o'clock flight coming in the morning. That's probably about an hour and a half, so they probably up here to the airport. I'm up still because it was just so much material. It was trying to weed out what I wanted to put in this program. But I was fortunate, and I'm happy that, for those that might wake up and go like, oh, wow, yeah, AD is still up, still trying to, bring some quality post-game comments and everything to you. Oh, by the way, the Texans will be playing in Foxborough against the New England Patriots Sunday afternoon. It'll be 3 o'clock their time, 2 o'clock our time. So they'll have a Sunday afternoon game, just for FYI. But anyway, Coach D'Amico Ryans and
The
comment in
Steelers'
his
second
comments.
series, it looked like, what was your mindset? Because it looked like the defense came off the sideline after their second series, and looked like it was like a 180, the way they just sort of turned the game around. At least got hold to it and started turning it around.
Yeah, you're saying our defense, right?
Yeah, no, I'm talking
All right, just making sure. No, our guys, they were locked in. And that's the thing that, I could see those guys were locked in. They played with confidence. And they tackle really well. That was the key. These guys, Warren, Gainwell, they do an outstanding job of breaking tackles. Those guys don't get enough credit for how good of backs they are. Great contact balance, great jump cuts, make a lot of guys miss. Our guys tackle well, and that was a huge key for us. So the way we tackled was really the key. And can't say, much about this performance without talking about the third downs. Like, that was the game. Like, we got off the field on third down defensively. Like, they only converted 2. And then for us, offensively, we converted 10 of 16. So that's the game right there that allowed us to stay on the field offensively. And defense was able to get off on third, which was very vital.
Yeah, think about what Coach just said, folks. They only got 2 first downs, from a schematic. They were 2 of, they only were successful 2 out of whatever. Texan was 10 out of 16. When you're converting third downs and converting them like that, and be quite, and let's be real about this, folks. The Texans, at one stretch, as I mentioned earlier, a little bit earlier in the intro of the show, the Texans were knocking out clips between Woody Marks and Nick Chubb. They were averaging at least 6 yards to carry on this particular drive, and so it was just knocking down chunks, and really, and this is no scrub defense. The Pittsburgh Steelers are not a scrub defense by no stretch of the imagination. But the Texans offensive line, and you got and We keep saying over and over they're a work in progress. Well, I tell you what, I think this work in progress is starting to fall into shape and fill out just at the right time. They are gelling at the right time, and so you just have to take your hat off to them and for what they're doing, and really. I think that let me just there are a lot of positive. Let me go to some of the and not some negative, but I think that and then hopefully they'll get this all out their system because CJ had some problems in the shotgun with the snaps tonight, and also an interception that was thrown that everybody sort of scratched their heads about. And I think CJ, be quite candid with, if he had to, if you put him on a true sermon, you wouldn't even have to put him on a true sermon. He probably would want to ask himself, how did I make that throw? Because I think there were times that the Steelers were putting applying pressure, but not so much pressure that I think the clock in CJ's head sped up probably faster than what we had anticipated would have sped up, and I think it caused it was some errant throws tonight. But let's face it, and like D'Amico Ryan said, no, it wasn't pretty. Yeah, when you put the tape on, you're gonna find some mistakes in there. But I tell you what, the mistakes as opposed to with the positives outweighed the negatives by a big margin. So that's why the Texans came out ahead tonight, folks. By a resounding 30-6 score. Uh, as I mentioned, Sheldon Rankin made it back to the end zone. And if folks might have remembered, when he scored, he had scored at NRG. His first touchdown was in the north end zone. His second touchdown, which was this season, was in the south end zone. And one of the questions I had posed to Sheldon at post game, how many more end zones he wanted to touch, and after the game, everybody was jovial, and he said, "Well, whatever the good Lord might bless him with to be able to go do." Yeah, guess what? He went on the road and he carried his touchdown road show, carried it on the road here in Steelers Stadium, and rumble after Will Anderson sack fumble, scooped up the ball. And in fact, I'm gonna go ahead and let Sheldon just let him tell you about his touchdown run, and let him talk about it.
I didn't realize you wanted to do it at Heinz Field or Three Rivers or whatever they're calling it now.
Acirsure.
You go ahead and pronounce it. I'm good with it.
Yeah. Right place, right time. Will knocks the ball out. I saw it at first. I thought Will got it. And I saw it again. I'm like, yeah, don't fall on it. Just pick it up and see what you can do. And then once I start rolling, I'm just like, don't get ran down.
Sunglasses is crazy. I'm leaving here with something.
Come on now, from around the way. Shout out Denzel on that one. But yeah, like I said, it's just a great play all around. Like I said, I know everybody was excited about the touchdown, but I keep on saying, like, man, go back and watch the rush. Like, the rush was crazy. Like, one of my better bull rushes. Put a man on his back pretty quick. So that was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I probably heard some comments in the background. That was Will Anderson Jr., whose locker is next door to Sheldon, in the dressing room, and Will was giving it as good as he was taking. And so what happened, and I mentioned earlier, it was Will Anderson's sack that caused the fumble that allowed Sheldon to scoop the ball up and go rumbling 33 yards. It's interesting, too, that Will and Sheldon shared a sack, because we were up in the press box and all of a sudden they credited the sack to Will, and Will was flat on his back, and somehow or another he reached up and got credit for a sack. But when we went back into the official scoring sheet, they had given the whole sack to Sheldon. and we kept trying to figure out, oh, okay, because we were all trying to figure out, wait a minute, how did Will make a sack and he was already on his back? But anyway, the official score went back and they split the sack up. So Will got a half a sack and Sheldon got a half a sack. Then Will turn around and got an actual sack, the one that caused the fumble on Aaron Rodgers and that allowed Sheldon Rankins to do the scoop and pick up and go. But anyway, folks, as I get ready to wrap this up, because I'm gonna try to grab me a little shut eye. My flight doesn't leave that nearly that early in the morning, so and some of my colleagues are probably making their way to the airport because I heard some of them say they got the 4:45 flight this morning. Fortunately, I don't have to get up that early, but I am going to eat breakfast. Yeah, but the Texans, as I stated earlier, a couple first. They had just restating, just a recap. Christian Kirk, 100 yards receiving on 8 receptions, over 100 yards receiving on 8 receptions, and 144 yards to be exact. 1 touchdown. Woody Marks, 19 carries, 112 yards, almost averaging 5.9. In fact, in one while he was averaging 6 yards a carry. Nick Chubb was right behind him. Nick Chubb had a good night of running, and just attribute everything to the offensive line. And if they can continue this going into Foxborough, and if they can knock off the New England Patriots, and if by chance, the Buffalo Bills can take out the Buffalo Bills can take out the Denver Broncos. Ooh, Nelly. I'm not sure how the Houston fans will react to having an AFC championship game played in NRG, because up until this point, there has never been an AFC championship game played, not in this current iteration of professional football for as this franchise as the Houston Texans are concerned. The Houston Oilers played in the old AFL, for a championship. We know about the Rockets, we know about the Astros, but the Texans have yet to step into that hallowed ground under those spotlights and to secure a championship. So quite obviously, we would love the fans, and I would just love to see the fans have that experience for them to come back and just to experience the whole ambiance of what can happen. And I would just love to see the reaction of the fans, just to have that week coming up, for the be hosting a championship game. Got a comment here. Let's see what we got. Oh man, somebody's still up. Okay, I'm gonna show this one. See, Anthony, this is what I'm talking about. Great win for the Texans. You are absolutely correct. The fact that they you just bravo. Bravo. So and thank you. Appreciate it, see Anthony. Excellent work. Keep it up. Hey, guys, I'm having, this is fun. Oh, and before I get ready to close, and let me just close with this little caveat story. If those that remember, and yes, I'm old enough to know about all this because I experienced it. You remember when the Houston Oilers on the Warren Moon was in Buffalo and was up 31-0 over the Buffalo Bills, and they eventually lost that game? Well, the winner of that game was supposed to come play the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I was making reservations to go cover that game because at that time I was working with Ralph Cooper. Ralph was working with Ralph over at KCOH. And so I was supposed to go cover that game. Well, I thought making plans to go cover it. And at halftime, I was already sitting there looking, I'm going to going to Pittsburgh. Well, a few decades later, I finally get to Pittsburgh. This is my first trip, And so now and now I'm having an opportunity to get to the stadiums. It's only a handful of stadiums that I have not had a chance to cover a game at, and so Pittsburgh is off the list now. Seattle is off the list. Um, we'll see how Fox. If I get a chance to get to Foxborough as it stands right now, I may not be able to get there, but we'll see. You never know how things will work out, but as it stands, we'll see. Let's put it like that. I'm not gonna never say never. But anyway, as we get ready to wrap this up, I'm getting ready to go to getting ready to go grab some shut eye and get up in another few hours and go grab breakfast. In fact, yeah, it's almost 5 o'clock here. What the heck? Final score: Houston Texans 30. The Pittsburgh Steelers 6. That's right, folks. The Houston Texans kept the vaunted Pittsburgh Steelers out of the end zone. Well, Cleveland Browns did too. So, but hey, you take it for what it's worth. Anyway, folks, let's continue as the year move forward with everything. Let's continue with it where we are. Oh, and be prepared. Everybody that's out there, get busy. Your Texans, they probably are back in. They should already be landed by now because, I think the Texans they may not be back, getting their cars, but anyway, they should have landed by now, if not in the process of landing at Bush, where they've taken off from. But anyway, I'm going to shut it down, grab a cup of shut eye, and in final score: Houston Texans 30, the Pittsburgh Steelers 6. This is your man, the Dolphins, A.D. Moore. Ciao, peace. Hey, I'm going to bed. Good morning, good night, good afternoon. No, I'm not Lutheran. Don't think I'm going to start trying to sound like Lutheran either. Anyway, folks, that's it. And if for those of you who have probably missed the earlier part of the show, it just give it a few seconds. It'll go back and boost up. In fact, the day while everybody's standing around the water cooler, why don't you go ahead and break out your phone and then just let some of the folks see the replay and replay the show around the water cooler today. And if you have not subscribed to the Ad Max Corner on YouTube channel, please do so. Also, if you have not subscribed to the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel, please do so. And also, don't forget to follow me on X, Twitter, and I'm still called the Twitter X. I haven't gotten that check from what's his face, Elon Musk, for me for saying X. But anyway, and I'm probably not gonna get a check. I'm probably not. Never mind. I'm not gonna say that. I'll leave that one alone. But not that I'm afraid of it. But I'll just leave it alone for right now. Moving on down the road. Texans should be getting home. I'm going to sleep, folks. Ciao.